All right, so Prime Minister Modi is presently in England. It is a busy day that is packed up for him. He'll, of course, start with an official meeting with Prime Minister Theresa May at 10 Downing Street. Now, I'm rejoined by our London Bureau Chief, Mandy Clark, and we're also joined in by our correspondent, Amit, who's also joining us from London. Now, Mandy, if I could, come back to you on this. This, of course, is a visit that is in many ways more symbolic than in terms of any actual trade deals or defence deals to be threshed out. This, of course, points towards the growing cooperation between India and the United Kingdom.
Yeah, absolutely. This is very important for Britain to show that they are rolling out the red carpet, that they're giving the best possible treatment to Narendra Modi, to show him how he's welcome. And they really want to encourage those trade deals and much deeper ties with India.
Absolutely. And Mandy, I see there are people who are behind you. And if it is possible to try and speak to some of those individuals to try and get a sense of what they feel about the Indian Prime Minister actually visiting the country there.
Yes, absolutely. Can I talk to you, ladies, on why did you decide to come out and greet the Prime Minister?
We are here to celebrate the colors of democracy. We are here to celebrate the color of springs, and he's our Prime Minister, so that's why we are here.
Okay. And what message do you hope he hears?
We have circulated a message all over, Beta Padhao and Beti Bachao. That means educate a boy child and save the girl child. So that's a very important message that we are going to convey to our motherland. Yeah.
Wonderful. So they certainly want to send a message, welcome him here to London, and they've certainly got up early to be right outside Downing Street when he arrives.
Absolutely, indeed. And also our correspondent, Amit Bharadwaj, is there with you. And Amit, if I could come to you on this. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is expected to address a gathering of the Indian diaspora. We've seen him address, members of the Indian diaspora in other countries that he has visited in the past, where he's been welcomed with these rapturous crowds. Now, what sort of a welcome is he likely to receive later on in the day today?
It's over.
So they want to know what type of reception the diaspora will receive today.
All right. Let me tell you, Mandy is with us, and we can see a whole lot of crowd behind us. So they want to say something before we start some communication. Yeah. कुछ कहना चाहेंगे?
बिल्कुल कहना चाहूंगी, हमारे लिए बहुत बहुत गर्व की बात है कि हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री, सबके चहेते प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी एक बार फिर यूके में कदम रख रहे हैं और हम औरतें खास तौर पर एक्साइटेड हैं उन्हें वेलकम करने के लिए, क्योंकि मोदी जी इंडिया में ठीक उसी तरह से आए हैं जिस तरह से ये बसंत का मौसम आया है। इसी वजह से आप देख सकते हैं हम सब ने अलग अलग रंगों के कपड़े पहने हैं, सिर्फ इस बसंत को वेलकम करने के लिए ही नहीं, श्री मोदी जी को भी स्वागत करने के लिए, बिकॉज जैसे स्प्रिंग का जब सीजन आता है तो बहुत सारी होप्स, बहुत सारी आशाएं लेकर आता है, उसी प्रकार से मोदी जी आए हैं। जब से उन्होंने गद्दी संभाली है, ही हैज गिवन अ लॉट ऑफ स्ट्रेंथ, अ लॉट ऑफ होप टू ऑल अस इंडियंस।
इसके लिए कुछ विशेष तैयारियां आप लोगों ने भी की थी और कुछ विशेष सुनाना भी चाहेंगी? कुछ ऐसा आपने तैयार किया है, कुछ गाना तैयार किया है, कुछ उनके लिए संदेश तैयार किया है जो बोलना चाहेंगे आप इस वक्त?
गाने तो हम मोदी जी के लिए गाते ही रहते हैं। हर नारी का नारा है, मोदी हमारा प्यारा है, और हर नारी की यही पुकार, मोदी आए बार बार। लेकिन एक चीज जरूर कहना चाहूंगी, पिछले 1 महीने से हम सारी औरतों ने छोटे छोटे बच्चे घर में छोड़ के आई हैं। आज बहुत सारी लेडीज ने अपनी स्पेशली जॉब से छुट्टी ली है, इट्स अ वर्किंग डे, एंड छुट्टी लेके खास मोदी जी का वेलकम करने के लिए यहाँ पर आई हैं। 1 महीने से प्रैक्टिसेस चल रही हैं, प्लस पिछले 1 महीने से हम लोग एक वैन भी घुमा रहे हैं पूरे लंदन में। उसका नाम हमने रखा है चलती का नाम मोदी। एक ट्रेजर बॉक्स बनाया है जिसका हमने नाम दिया है वुमन की बात। मोदी जी अपने मन की बात पूरे देश से करते हैं, हम वुमन की बात उन तक पहुंचा रही हैं। और मानिएगा कि वहां पर कम से कम नहीं तो 3000 औरतों ने अपने हाथ से उनके लिए कार्ड्स, उनके लिए लेटर्स भरे हैं उस डब्बे में, आप देखेंगे कुछ देर के बाद। और अपनी एक पर्सनल, अपने मन की बात, एक संदेश पहुंचाना चाहती हैं। और ज़्यादातर औरतों ने यही लिखा है कि वो कितनी खुश हैं उन्होंने जो अभी तक काम किया है देश के लिए, और बस इसी तरह से वो आगे बढ़ते रहें और हमारा पूरा सपोर्ट उनके साथ है।
चलिए, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद बात करने। So London is all set to welcome Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and there's a whole lot of engagements right from the morning. So we have the first engagement in 10 Downing Street right now, and after that, a lot of happenings for today.
Amit, and this is not the first time that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in fact in London. I mean, he was there in the year 2016 as well, in the month of April, and it is about 2 years later that he's again visiting. And Mandy, if I can bring you in on this, you know, the fact that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is visiting England after 2 years. He had met with the former Prime Minister, David Cameron, at that time, and this time round he'll be discussing several issues with Theresa May. Now, Britain from 2016 is very different from what it is today. Brexit hadn't happened at that time. So, you know, talk to us a bit about the dynamic as to how the bilateral relationship has changed between India and Britain before and after Brexit.
Yeah, certainly the relationship has changed in 2 years just because of the effect of Brexit and the importance that the UK is really placing on their ancient historical links, particularly the Commonwealth. In many ways, that India has perhaps more power in this relationship because Britain very strongly needs the trade and that relationship. So it is a changing and evolving relationship that sees them being greeted with much greater enthusiasm, certainly to encourage much greater ties.
Absolutely, indeed. And we are looking at the visuals as to what is happening in your background. There are several people who have gathered with the Indian tricolour. And this, of course, looks like an event where these people are ready to invite Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and also, you know, the symbolisms of some of the small things that have been planned. For instance, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is expected to drive to the event, the Tech Summit, in a fully electric Jaguar. This is something that is pretty symbolic in terms of how the Indo-British ties in terms of trade have in fact flourished in the last few years.
Yeah, certainly, and it certainly shows he's certainly getting the red carpet treatment. He is meeting the Queen in Buckingham Palace. Not lots of dignitaries are coming for the event, but certainly very few are getting this certain treatment that he is certainly getting. So it's getting a bit loud here, so I'm going to struggle to hear you, but there's certainly a lot of excitement about Narendra Modi coming.
Absolutely, indeed. And again, if you could go back to some of those people who are super excited about Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit there, because this is, you know, almost a sort of a preparation that we see that they've been involved in for a fair bit of time to welcome the Indian Prime Minister there. Try speak to them and ask them what it feels like for them as members of the Indian diaspora to welcome the Indian Prime Minister in Britain. All right, we seem to have lost the audio in the line there, but this of course is what is presently going on in London as several supporters of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and members of the Indian diaspora there have got ready to try and welcome the Prime Minister. Remember, his first official meeting will of course be at the 10 Downing Street, where he'll be meeting with the British Prime Minister Theresa May, and post that there it is going to be a hectic day for the Indian Prime Minister. He's also to meet Prince Charles, and we also expect him to be addressing a big event which would involve members of the Indian diaspora. The event, of course, is known as Bharat Ki Baat, Sabka Saath. Now, we are also given to understand that Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be interacting with people from around the world in terms of the questions that they've actually sent for him. Now, my colleague Mandy Clark is still with us. Now, Mandy, this is a very fascinating sort of very enthusiastic reception which Prime Minister Narendra Modi is, of course, getting in Britain. Now, you've covered the visits of other heads of state to Britain. Can you think of any other leader who would have got this sort of a reception by members of the diaspora of his nation?
They do that a lot. They just keep asking questions a lot. I just make more stuff up. I don't know.
All right, there seems to be a bit of an issue with the line there. It's extremely noisy as well, as we see these members of the Indian diaspora dancing. They've also said that the coming of Modi to Britain has been as good as the coming of spring to Britain, and that is how they are, in fact, seeing the visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi in London. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be on a 3-day visit to London. He was, remember, received by Boris Johnson yesterday at the time when he landed in Britain from Sweden. And this, of course, is a very significant visit that will be high on symbolism, high on optics, to try and show the manner in which India's relationship with Britain has in fact flourished. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was, of course, in Britain way back in April 2016. But that was a completely different Britain that was still a part of the European Union. But now, considering the fact that Britain has made its exit from the European Union, it is looking for new trade partners, it is looking for newer markets, it's also looking for other nations apart from European Union to in fact trade and establish greater trade links with. And this is where India, which has such a huge market, can of course step in. Visuals of the members of the Indian diaspora where they've said that Indian ladies UK ka nara hai, Modi hamara pyara hai. So these are some of the slogans which these people have in fact brought. We'll slip into a short break now and we'll be getting you more details of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's historic visit to Britain on the other side of this short break. Stay tuned.